Hello, in this short video I will show how you can use the new Track and Plan beta at IBM DevOps Services, jazzhub.com, to track and plan a team's work. In order to make this a little bit more realistic, I've imported a bunch of data from the Eclipse Leo project and also added fictional team members to this project. So let's go into Track and Plan. As we saw in the previous video in this series, you land in My Work. To work on to plan and organize a team's work, you can use the three following views: Team's Work, Backlog, and Sprint Planning. Let's hit Team's Work. The Team's Work view shows you all the work that is currently assigned to your team. In the list mode, you can see open versus in progress versus resolved. I personally like the lane view. I find this view extremely useful for running Scrum meetings or sync ups that we do on a regular basis. In one view, you see all the work that people have currently haven't started, the stuff that they have in progress, and also what's been recently resolved as part. So by default, Team's Work shows you all the work that's assigned. You can further filter by sprint. So I pick sprint 1 here. A little bit of refresh issues there. So now I'm seeing only the sprint 1 work. You can see that this is a fairly new sprint, so not a lot of work has been done yet. So you can do all the actions that I showed in the previous view-let. You could during the meeting, if someone was working on the wrong type of thing, you can change from task to defect. You can balance work by simply clicking on the person and assigning the work to someone else. You can create new work, right? If someone's doing something and they didn't represent it as a work item, so you can quickly create, fix this defect using the same defect. You can give it a person to assign to using our @: syntax. Right, so very quickly they can create work. It's going to inherit all the context, so it's going to be in progress. It's going to be assigned to Bill as I requested. So that's a really quick overview of this view, and essentially it's meant for you to look at your team's work, whether in a Scrum meeting or when doing your own planning. The next view I want to show you is the backlog view. The backlog view is a very simple view. It only has one display type, but essentially shows you a ranked list of all the work that's currently not planned. Right, so it's assigned to the backlog iteration or sprint. The key role of this view is to let you rank the work and organize it in a way so that you can do your planning for your next sprint. So you can drag things up and down the list, and that will give things a rank. Right, so you can quickly create a ranked list. There's some bugs here, as you can notice with the ranking in this build. It should be ordered by rank. The other thing you can do here is obviously create new items in your backlog. So for example, in this data imported, there's no stories. So I'm going to use our syntax as a user. I want a Leo SDK, right? It's going to create me a story. I can now rank this story in my backlog. Because it's a story, I may want to give it some children. For example, let's make the task Leo library a child. So the quickest way to do that is I could have done it when I created it using the child, but I can also quickly set a parent here. So A314. Right, and now it'll also show up as a child of that story. children within a story are ranked starting from 1 as well. I could have also added the child by using the add child. So let's add another one here. No, doesn't really matter. Right, now we see the 2 children. Only 1 is ranked. So that's the backlog view. Essentially, you should use it for essentially creating a prioritized list of your work for your team. The next view is the sprint planning view. The sprint planning view is gives you a view that lets you organize and plan for your next sprint. So as you notice, this team is currently in sprint 1, and the list of work for sprint 1 is quite full. I also see the backlog here. Sorry. If I scroll to the right, I get to see the other sprints. We show up to 3 sprints, the 3 next sprints. Now, let's say I'm trying to plan sprint 2. I can also either pin the backlog and then the rest of the lanes scroll by themselves, or I can also just click on sprint 2 and the view will adjust itself to show me the backlog plus sprint 2. And now I can start dragging tasks onto sprint 2. That's deciding what I'm going to do in the next sprint. Thank you. That was a really quick overview of the 3 views that we've developed to help you plan the work of your small team and also run your Scrum meetings and balance the work between your team members.